welcome back to another episode of London's Pretty Cool. I'm your host, Erin Briggs.
And I'm your other host, Patrick Briggs.
And we are very excited to have another fantastic episode with a great guest. We are here with Kelly Roy from Lavish Nightclub. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you.
So, Kelly, just to get us started, could you kind of introduce yourself and let everyone know kind of what your role is at Lavish?
So as you said, I'm Kelly Roy, and my role at Lavish is sort of a strange one, to be honest with you. I started working with Lavish last February with my friend Bev. We started up a entertainment and promotion type thing to book drag shows for Lavish, and we named it Mums Entertainment. And the only reason we did it is because both of us are parents of queer kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we did it with the interest of keeping a queer safe space in London for our children. And Bev's one son is actually a popular drag queen in London as well. So it all paired in well. From there, we quickly developed a love for Lavish, and I developed a love for the Lavish family and wanted to help in any way I can. So I started doing promotions of other events for them and booking private engagements or anything like that and doing their socials for them. And so it sort of morphed into what I do now, which is still Mums Entertainment, but also I do the promotions and socials for Lavish as it exists now.
I love that it's called Mums Entertainment. That's such a great name.
And it's MUMS because Bev is British, so it's proper mums.
Amazing. Amazing. Yes, we're also British. You know.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Can I ask what's Bev's what's their drag name? Just so we can
Miss
give a little shout out.
Shanine. It's
Pardon?
Miss Shanine. Miss Shanine.
Perfect.
Shanine. Everybody
Love
check out Miss Shanine next time they're performing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What a great place to have like that as a place to practice your craft as well. You know, having that access in the family too, you know, and knowing that it's going to be a safe place where you can do this as well. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, well, and Miss Shanine's been doing drag since she was 13.
Oh, lovely.
So, and is now 18. So it's been quite a few years, but yeah.
Practically a professional.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, we're maybe getting ahead of ourselves here. For those who don't know, could you maybe give a brief overview of what Lavish is actually?
Lavish is the only 2S LGBTQ nightclub, restaurant, bar in London, and it is a safe space for the community. It is not just a drag bar, which I think some people sometimes think. It is not just a drag bar. It is a space that anyone can come to who's in the community or outside of the community with the respect of the 2S LGBTQ community.
Amazing.
So how we kind of started talking was especially because we post like our This Week in London, and Lavish has put on some amazing events. Like you said, there's lots of drag shows, but you recently had a Halloween party, there's karaoke nights, there's so much going on there every night. What do you think is the most kind of successful event that Lavish puts on?
So in my experience, now I understand I've only been involved for a short time, but anything that had to do with the Pride Festival here in London was very successful, and brought out a lot of people, which is great. Our drag shows also bring out a lot of people. So to pick one thing is difficult. We've had different variations on drag shows as well. So we've had, you know, your traditional drag shows, and then we've also had All Kings Nights, which is our drag kings in London, which are a very they're a minority. Can I say a minority within a minority? Because that's sort of what the drag kings are. So we've had drag king shows as well. So, I mean, really, it all depends on what you want to mark success on. And I guess, as a mom of a queer kid, I might mark success differently than the business owners. But yeah, so there is, yes, a bunch of different things, but it goes from, dance nights to club nights to lumberjacks nights to drag kings to drag queens to everything, right? We've sort of hit everything that we can.
I just kind of want to like go all the way back just for if there's any listeners that maybe don't know. I know drag queens kind of stuff has become way more popular nowadays, especially with RuPaul's Drag Race and everything. But for those who don't know, do you think you can kind of explain what is a drag queen and what a drag king is?
So, so first and foremost, to all of the artists in London, I apologize if I bastardize this too much, but when it comes down to it, a drag queen and a drag king, they're performers, they're artists. They come out in a alter ego, a different persona, and perform. I want to take gender out of it though, because their gender is not synonymous with how they're presenting themselves. So, a lot of people think if you're a drag queen, you must be male to begin with. That's not necessarily true. So I don't think we need to sort of go into the gender thing. I think it's basically the type of performance they do and the way they present themselves. So drag kings present themselves more masculine, drag queens present themselves more feminine. We also have sort of, I don't know if you would say ghouls, but we kind of have the sort of the mismatch of everything. So we have artists who are different altogether. So you wouldn't necessarily say it was a king or a queen, but we have artists like Lilith Knox is a good example. Panico Von Slees is a good example, just to name a couple in London that don't present 100% male or 100% female. They present as an artist who's honed their craft to be entertaining to the audience, basically.
So great. Like just to know that there's somewhere in London that people who have this kind of gift to put on these performances have a place to show their craft and really get that response
Oh,
from audiences that like love it.
absolutely, absolutely.
Aaron and I can reference. Sorry, Aaron, I didn't want to step on your toes there. When we were growing up, we had we used, it's no longer around, unfortunately, but the London Music Club here in London. We would attend their open mic nights like on Fridays regularly, and take advantage of honing our own artistic crafts and everything with music, or just like trying to hone your ability to hang out with people and trying to socialize and everything, and trying to work out who you are as a person. So it's really, really exciting to hear that there's a place like this in London that exists for, it sounds like people of all ages and all backgrounds, as long as you're showing respect, to the LGBTQ plus community, then it's an incredible sounding space.
That's exactly it. Exactly it.
Um, we have just a fun little question we have for you. So we know that there's karaoke nights going on at Lavish. We wonder, do you have a go-to karaoke song that you like to perform with?
I have to say that we have not, no, I'm not even going to go with the karaoke. We haven't had karaoke in a couple of years, from
Oh,
what I know. I think during COVID at one point we tried, but COVID really kicked us all in the teeth. So we haven't had karaoke in the time that I've been working with Lavish since February of 2022. We haven't had any karaoke. That's not to say that we're not going to. But when it comes to, if we started to introduce karaoke and if I had to choose a song, in respect of my dear daughter who used to cover my mouth when I sang to her as a baby, I'm going to say that there would be no singing for me at all.
sounds like
Well,
our mom.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. They've got the kids who are willing to perform for them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
From your time working at Lavish, what has been your favorite event that you've put on so far?
Oh, wow. Um, yeah, and see, and I've been thinking about this question all day. Um,
It's a tough
and
one. Yeah.
well, you know what? It's tough because, like I said, there's like what we value, what Bev and I value as moms putting on events at Lavish, and what it does to people. Like um, when we see like I'll have a mom contact me before a show and say, I want to bring my 13-year-old out to this show because they're just coming out and they're interested in doing drag, and is it okay if I bring them? And I'm like, and I'll say, absolutely, we'll introduce them to a queen that they could get to talk to individually. So to pick one event or one type of show or whatever, it's hard because they're all magical in their own sort of way. So I don't know that I could label just one as my favorite. You know what I mean? Like there's been things that have happened that have made very memorable shows for me, but to pick one individual show, I don't know that I could. I really don't think I could.
Is there a particular season that escalates in flair, or like around the Christmas time, around the holidays, do the shows just get like bigger and bigger? In the summertime, is it kind of like like the less fur, or less faux
Yeah.
fur or something? What like do you notice anything like that?
Well, Halloween is absolutely insane.
Can only imagine. Yeah.
And I think it was a beautifully shocking type of time at Lavish because you never really knew what to expect with any costumes, any performers. I mean, we had guests showing up dressed up. We had a Rocky Horror Night.
Amazing.
Love it.
So that was so much fun, right?
Mm.
And what I love about it is when you see someone come in and they're dressed completely in Rocky Horror garb and everyone loves it. No one looks and goes, "Oh my God, what are you wearing?" It's, "Oh my God, why didn't I wear it?" Right? Like, so it's just, it's a beautiful thing. And Halloween is the season for our LGBTQ community. They love Halloween. I know my queer kid does. They absolutely love it. I'm a fan of Christmas, so I'm the opposite, but it works.
Did you dress up as anything fun this year?
Yeah, as a middle-aged woman who's tired all the time. That was pretty much it. No Halloween costume for me.
Well, I do want to touch on Kelly, you mentioned a few times that you're the mother of a queer child. I'm sure you've had issues growing up or excuse me, where your child's growing up and they've had to deal with not feeling comfortable going out to, especially downtown London sometimes can be, as a straight white man, can sometimes be a little nerve-wracking. So
Mhm.
I think it's important, even if we could just get your own definition, like what do you feel like a safe space means?
So I find it curious that people say safe space because I don't think a safe space has anything to do with walls.
Mm,
Um, a safe space is all about people, and it's all about people accepting. Lavish is only as safe as the people that are involved with it, and that's true of any place you go. Um, so I've seen different things that absolutely break my heart over the years, and I hear stories all the time from different clientele that comes into Lavish about how it feels to be accepted somewhere versus not accepted. And it's hard for me as a mom because there wasn't a second that I didn't accept my child, and there would never be a second that I wouldn't accept my child. Um, My child does not go to bars. They have never been a bar person, but they come to Lavish. And they come to Lavish because they're comfortable at Lavish and they feel safe at Lavish. But like I said, it's not just about the walls and the doors and everything. It's the people inside. It's the right from the bartender to the doorman. It's everyone that makes them feel safe in that space and lets them know that they're okay there to be whoever they want to be. And we make sure that when people come into Lavish, they're respectful of that. We've had people come to the door before and say, well, I'm straight. Am I allowed to come in? And I'll say, absolutely, you're allowed to come in, but respect that this space is a 2S LGBTQ community. Our bathrooms are universal. It's not a men's or a women's. You have to be accepting of that. Like, there's things that, it takes, how do you say, like, so they say it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a lot of like-minded people to make a safe space with safe people, and that's where Lavish is a special place for that.
That's really well said, Kelly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know. I remember during COVID, a lot of my queer friends, I guess, would say that they missed Lavish a lot because that was a space that they could just go and dance and really not feel any sort of judgment or feel like anyone's there looking at them or feeling weird. It was just like they missed that a lot during COVID, having that space to just go and dance and have a good time without.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a no judgment zone. It doesn't matter what you wear. It doesn't matter if you can dance or if you can't dance. It doesn't matter. Just everyone's having fun. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And sorry, Aaron, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say we need more spaces like that in London for
Oh
sure.
my God. Like seriously, I'm about to turn 52, and I have to say that if I would have had a space like Lavish as a kid, and not because I'm straight, not that there's anything wrong with me being straight, but I am straight. A space like Lavish would have alleviated so much for me growing up through, like, the self-esteem issues that you get going to different places and everything else. And I do truly believe that Lavish is so accepting that a lot of that is hopefully alleviated for people that come there.
I think you've done a really good job defining how Lavish is a safe space. I think it shows that it's basically it's something that I think we talk about a lot on this podcast. It's all about community. And it's all about building a community base that supports each other and works for a common goal. And like you said, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes like a community to create a safe space. I think that's really well said. Yeah, I just think, from what it sounds like something that I really would have loved as well. I know many queer friends that have had bad experiences at places because they just weren't safe there, and they were safe and then suddenly weren't, and it's just like unfortunate how that happens. So it's nice to know that, like, yeah, it's just really nice to know that some place like this exists in London.
Yep, awesome.
And so I want to continue this to be a positive thing, but unfortunately, earlier this year, there was some controversy around Lavish with people thinking that I know that Lavish wanted to get a new, I forget what it's called, but just to be able to put on burlesque shows. There was a new licensing to be able to host these shows, and it turned into this whole thing with CBC about people being scared that it's going to be another strip club and there's going to be all these things that it's going to turn Dundas Place into like the new red light district, where it really had nothing to do with this. I'm wondering if you could let everyone kind of know what happened and how it's kind of been resolved in the recent times.
So, first and foremost, it wasn't just for burlesque shows, because we have a burlesque show coming up November the 12th at Lavish. It was to allow us to have adult entertainment geared towards our 2S LGBTQ community, because why is it not okay for that community to have the same sort of entertainment available to them that the straight community does?
Mhm.
and literally right down the street at Solid Golds.
Mm.
So anyways, the city denied the license, and so we couldn't get our adult license. That's basically where it is. It's I guess some would consider it resolved because we didn't get our license. But the people that were against it, I I will say probably don't go down to Dundas at night. And they don't see the bigger issues that are going on Dundas at night. The homeless situation on Dundas is extreme, and it's horrific. And bringing more business to Dundas is what is going to assist with that situation. So telling any business that they need to be limited on what they can do at this point is detrimental to what's going on Dundas. And that's, I mean, I'm speaking on my own on this and sort of off the cuff on this, but I truly believe that if you come down to Dundas and you see that area, like we're right across from the main library, we're right across from Wolf Performance Hall. All of this beautiful construction has been done to Dundas Place to make it look better and more inviting for people, but then no help for any of the businesses down there to sustain business, especially after COVID, right? So it is what it is. We didn't get the license. It doesn't mean it stops us from putting on great shows, because we can still have our burlesque shows. They made that very clear at the city meetings that there's no reason to have an adult license to have a burlesque show.
Mm.
So Mum's Entertainment has booked a burlesque show for November the 12th. And we have invited people from the city and said, by all means, come down. I've already contacted our mayor elect, Josh Morgan, and invited him to come down to Lavish some night so that he can see what goes on the streets right outside Lavish. Because I mean, we can keep it as safe as we can inside, but we have a hard time outside sometimes, right? So, but yeah, so that's basically what happened with the license. It's resolved as far as the city's concerned, I'm sure, because we didn't get it. But here we sit. We'll continue trudging away at what we do best.
That just seems so, to me, so dumb. It, like, if you can have like we can have Thunder Down Under or whatever come down to Centennial Hall, why can't we do something at Lavish? Like, it's just, to me, ridiculous. That's a ridiculous
It's
kind of.
it's you know what? So speaking as Kelly Roy, not as Lavish and not as Mum's Entertainment, I feel that it's 100% homophobic. That's my feeling, and I will say it loud and proud on my home behalf. I can't speak on behalf of the bar in this respect, but I do feel very much it's homophobic. Why can't our 2S LGBTQ community have the same access to adult entertainment as anyone else does, and in a safe space? Like, you have adult entertainment in a licensed facility. It's a safe space. The performers are safe. The clientele is safe. The owners are safe. Like, these decisions aren't made simple and easy. We put a lot of thought into this stuff, right? So yeah, I find the decision by the city very disappointing. But like I said, we do the best that we can, and we will continue to do what we do and advocate for the community and be an ally bar for the community as well.
I hope the listeners will advocate for Lavish as well in this instance, because that is
Oh,
it's pretty double-sided. I
Yeah.
completely agree. That's a ridiculous, excuse me, a double standard, or however the term would say. But yeah, that's quite ridiculous.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely it is. It's when you sit back and think about how it happened and why it wasn't done, you sort of have to go, okay, just a second here. Let's slow down. I know that London is a conservative town. I understand that. But we're not putting this out on the street. We're not, so whatever. Whatever, it's happened. There's nothing we can do about it now. But by all means, if any listeners are thinking they want to advocate, then beat down the doors of City Hall and let them know that they deserve the same entertainment as everyone else in the city gets.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Contact your local
Counselors.
counselors. Yeah. Couldn't
Yeah.
think of it. Yeah. But contact your local counselors, contact the new mayor-elect, and get some progress going.
Oh, yeah.
If we can switch it to a bit more positive side here,
Yes, please.
this episode is going to come out on the 11th. Are there any upcoming events that you'd like to plug? I know you've mentioned a burlesque show coming up.
Yeah, our burlesque show is November the 12th. It's actually almost sold out. I think we only have 10 or 15 tickets left. So by the 11th, it will be sold out. Sorry. But we will be bringing that troupe back. We're hoping to bring them back every other month. So we will be having more burlesque shows. Mum's Entertainment does have a Naughty or Nice show on November the 25th, which will be a drag show with fantastic entertainment. We've got Poison Ivy Lee, we have Shira May Hart, we have Basic Taylor, and we have Holden Two Dicks. I don't know if I can say that.
That's a
and
great
then-
name.
I don't know if I'm saying
Yeah.
that one right.
and Holden is one of our drag kings. And as well, we have the debut performance of Erica Black, which I will plug her drag mom right now, because her drag mom is none other than Phoenix Black, who is on Call Me Mother season 2 right now, which airs on Out TV. So I'm plugging Phoenix huge because she is our local queen who has made it to Call Me Mother. So we're very proud of her too. So yeah, it'll be a great show on the 25th.
Amazing. Holy moly.
I know, right?
It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, geez, get your tickets before it's too late. I know the listeners now when they'll be listening to this, they're gonna go, oh shoot, it's a good thing I already got my ticket. That's what they're gonna be thinking. It's a good thing I already got it.
Well, the tickets for November 25th went on sale actually today as we're recording. They've gone on sale, so they'll be able to hear about them. They're on Eventbrite, or they can get tickets at the door for that show.
There you go.
Awesome. Be sure to check it out. If someone is listening right now, if we have some listeners that maybe have heard of Lavish or have never heard of Lavish and are now hearing about it for the first time and kind of want to go, they're like, oh, this sounds right up my alley. I'd love to do it. What are some things that they should know before coming for the first time? Is there anything that they should know? Like if there's just to make them a little more, like to ease them into it.
You know, I don't know. So it's funny to me because for me, I don't think there's any requirement to be eased into a place like Lavish. I don't think that Lavish needs to come with a warning label. I think that Lavish is an inclusive bar that welcomes and loves anyone who comes there. So if you know that going into it, then you will be perfectly fine. If there's, dance, I suggest, wear comfortable shoes. These are things I think you should know. Wear comfortable shoes. Make sure that, you bring money for beverages because
Is
that's
there a
always
cover
good thing.
charge? Should people know that
There
they have
is.
some money coming in?
So typically there's a $5 cover charge for dancing. When we have shows, it ranges from 10 to 20 for shows. There is an ATM in the facility, so if anyone shows up and doesn't have cash, they can get cash at the ATM. But door is always cash payment at the door. At the bar, they can use debit or credit or anything like that. But we have great DJs that take requests, and you don't need hot yoga. If you go to Lavish, dance one night, you don't need hot yoga for at least a week.
Love it.
That's all you need. Yeah. I like it. It sounds like a good time to me. I think I'll be attending very soon.
Absolutely. We'd love to see you.
You'll see some dance moves when I attend too.
Oh,
I might take over the dance floor in a bad way, but in a good way, but in a bad way.
Okay.
Um, Speaking of good ways, what has been, yeah,
Mm.
it sounds like you've had, even in the limited time frame here, some incredible experiences. What has been your favorite memory so far working at Lavish?
So, without question, and as sad and horrible as this sounds, the amount of, and I'm going to say kids because I'm 52, so anyone younger than me is a kid. The amount of kids that come up and get a hug from myself or from Bev, we're known as the mums, Mama Bev and Mama Cal.
Hmm.
And giving hugs to kids whose parents haven't accepted them, and whose parents have turned their backs on them. It's hard to believe that it still happens in 2022, but it does.
Hmm.
Um, and a very fond memory for me was one night when I was on the microphone at the end of a show and thanked everyone for coming and said who we were and what we were all about. There was a woman in the audience, who wasn't actually far from my age, who said she didn't have a mom anymore because of having come out when she did. And I looked at her and I says, well, I'm your mom now. And it will always be one of my favorite memories, was her reaction to that. And like I said, the hugs that we get, it doesn't get better than that. So, the whole free mom hugs movement that you see at pride events and everything, Bev and I get to experience it damn near every weekend at Lavish, and we love it. So it's fantastic.
That's very beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's just sad to hear that people are still like this in this day and age.
Oh,
It should just, it's crazy.
I couldn't imagine turning my back on my children. I couldn't. I absolutely couldn't. So, yeah.
Well, people are lucky that they have you and Bev as their uh, secondary moms to help them out through that for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. A
Sorry, go
shining
ahead.
force, a shining light in the scene, like as examples. I love that.
Thank you.
Before we get into kind of our London-based questions, is there anything else that people should know about Lavish, like where, like location, days and times that it's open, how they can follow you on Instagram or other social medias, just so that if there's any upcoming shows, they're able to see it right away and then buy the tickets right away.
Yep. So we're located at 238 Dundas, which is right across from Wolf Performance Hall in the main library. So it's right between Clarence and Wellington. Our hours, we're open on Wednesdays for dancing now. We just started opening on Wednesdays for dancing. So we open at 10, and we're open till 2. And there's drink and food specials on Wednesdays. So that's pretty cool. Friday nights, we're open from 10 until 2 for dancing. And if we have a drag show, it will be typically on a Friday night. And the drag shows usually start at 8. And Saturdays we're open from 10 until 2 as well. We are looking at opening up Thursdays as well. So we will be open hopefully Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Amazing. Yes, as many days of the week as possible, please.
Absolutely. And our socials on Instagram, we're Lavish London CA, all one word. And you can find us as well on Facebook under Lavish.
Perfect. Everyone go check out Lavish. You'll see me and Patrick there dancing up a storm probably very soon.
Awesome.
Well, thanks so much for doing the questions about Lavish. Now is the time where we get into the London-based questions here, as we are London's Pretty Cool podcast.
Okay.
So Kelly, first tough. This is going to be this is where the tough questions of the evening come in. This is where, we're really going to test your either your loyalties or your local knowledge here. So, your
Uh-oh.
first question, number one, with the pressure now mounted. Favorite place to eat in the city?
Well, see, that's not really fair because because Lavish serves food and I love it. Um, but I have to go to my faithful. I do have to go to my faithful. I love you, Lavish. Don't get mad at me, but it's got to be Spaghetti Eddie's.
Oh, great
Classic.
one. That's a
Without question, my absolute favorite place to eat.
I agree. That's me and my friend, our go-to whenever she's back in the city. We go to Spaghetti Eddie's to eat.
Yeah.
What about your
Well, hold on, Aaron. Hold on, Aaron. I gotta ask one for a question. What's your favorite dish there? What's your favorite dish there?
So that's a hard one. I always like getting the lasagna, but this is the thing. So first off, okay, so I can't believe I'm going to say this and it's going to go on radio. Um, anyway, so I just recently had bariatric surgery.
Okay.
So I can't actually eat much of anything anymore. However, when I used to go to Spaghetti Eddie's, my go-to to order every time I went there was the seafood Alfredo. And then I would order a lasagna to go.
Oh, I
Clearly,
love it.
this is why I ended up needing my bariatric surgery, clearly.
uh,
Oh my gosh, that's a
Yes,
great to go. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah. Their food is spectacular. So,
Oh, I'll never forget one of the saddest times in my life was I went out to dinner at Spaghetti Eddie's and I was actually going to Patrick's house afterwards. So I stopped at the beer store and I left my leftover
oh,
Spaghetti Eddie's at the beer store and I was halfway down leaving. I'm like, I can't go back now. Go get it. So I was already there and I'd left my leftovers at the beer store.
if you would have gone back, they would have been sitting at the counter eating it anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have mattered.
they're just passing it around. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Kelly, what would you say is, as London is kind of termed the city of neighborhoods, what would you think is your favorite neighborhood in London?
So I live in Sunningdale. And so like Northwest London. I've always lived up here between White Hills and Sunningdale. That's where I've lived since I moved here about 20 years ago. So I have to say that's my favorite area. Um, as far as like just familiarity and shopping and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Uh, but if I'm going out somewhere, I love going along Richmond. Honestly, like Richmond Row, any patios, anything like that. If I go out, that's where I go. If I'm not at Lavish, right?
You really take advantage of the summertime with all of the patios open.
I try to, yeah. Well, Lavish has a patio too. We have the Elevate Lounge that's open, a rooftop patio. So I take advantage of that one too. But yeah, yeah, I like my patios.
Nice.
Amazing. You're making me think I should have taken advantage of that more this summer.
Don't worry, it's coming back.
Yeah.
You're
Don't you
right.
worry.
It's
Don't
coming
you
right back
worry. We're
around.
not
You're
going
right.
anywhere. We're not going anywhere.
Now you might be biased here, but is and you might have already answered it with this whole interview, but is there a London small business you couldn't live without?
I have not answered it at all, but it's Purdy's Natural.
Ooh, good
I
one.
Choice.
I love Purdy's on Mount Pleasant and Warrencliffe. Absolutely love that place.
It is great. I love their boho bazaar. They have
Hmm.
on there, yeah.
Absolutely.
And let's say, so I don't know if you have a certain day off that you get to have, and in like I always say Saturday because that's my personal day off. But if you were to have a perfect day in London from when you wake up, enjoying all the small businesses or different parks, what is your perfect day in London?
Wow. Um, I think really, so I spend it with my kids first and foremost. My son's at school and university, University of Windsor, so he doesn't really get to be here as much. But my daughter and I like to head down to Western Market and also love going right across the street there to So Inviting for dumplings.
Mm,
And then on kitty corner to it is a croissant place. There's a bakery there. And I think it's called Artisan Bakery on Dundas that Bev actually introduced me to. So I think it would have to be a combination between hitting the market, getting dumplings, and going to that Artisan Bakery for their almond croissant, which is absolutely to die for.
Oh,
maybe end the night with some dancing at Lavish.
I would have to. I would have to end the night dancing at Lavish because if I ate all of that, I would need to go there to burn it off.
Responsible. I like the responsible.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Is there a hidden gem in the city for you? Now that could be a person, place, or thing.
Wow. You know what? So, um, I'm gonna say it's Lavish. I have to say, and I'm not just saying it just because, but I've only known of Lavish really in a short time. But when I see what it offers the London community, both the LGBTQ community and the straight ally community, um, it's a hidden gem. It 100% is, because it's a space where people can go to, and it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter how young you are, clearly, because it's a bar. But where you can be accepted and loved and have fun and let loose and, work off the stress from your work week. So yeah, my hidden gem is Lavish. And I know that sounds like a selfish plug at the very end, but no, I have to say it's Lavish.
When you've got a favorite spot, you've got a favorite spot, and that's just how it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, well, it's time for the final section of our show. Kelly, thank you so much for sticking around. It is time for this is the real tough part. If I said that last section was tough, oh, just you wait. This
Oh
is
dear
where
God.
it really gets tough here. So we're gonna do a rapid fire round of questions. So we're just gonna give you choices, two choices, and you've got to choose between them, okay, as fast as you can.
Okay.
All right, this section of the show is called This
Or that.
That. All righty, so our first question here for you: Western Fair Market or Covent Garden Market?
Western Fair Market.
Grooves Records or Odyssey Records?
Grooves.
Masonville Mall or White Oaks Mall?
Masonville.
Springbank Park or Gibbons Park?
Springbank.
Fanshawe College or Western University?
Western University.
Wortley Village or Old East Village?
Old East Village.
What about London Brewing Co-op or Anderson Craft Ales?
London Brewing Co-op.
Would you rather go to a Knights game or a Majors game?
Knights.
A Brown and Dixon or City Lights bookstores?
City Lights.
Would you rather bike on the Thames Valley Parkway or hike in one of our environmentally significant areas?
Hiking.
What about coffee? Black walnut or Asmara coffee?
Black Walnut.
Back to our fantastic breweries, Powerhouse or Stormstade?
Oh, no, I've never been to either of those.
Oh,
Oh, lovely. You'll have to try those out.
Yes, apparently I do. I like London Brewing Co-op because we do drag shows there too sometimes.
yes, they're great for the shows.
I bet you Stormstade would be interested in doing something like that. But that is for another time. Next question: Richmond Row or Dundas Place?
Oh, damn you. Dundas Place.
Harris Park or Victoria Park?
Victoria Park.
And lastly, Highland Theater or Mustang Drive-In?
Highland Theater.
Nice.
Congratulations. You made it through.
I saw my first movie at Highland Theater not long ago, and it brought me back. Boy, it was fantastic. Great theater.
Do you remember what movie it was, just out of curiosity?
It was, it was a true story. Oh my God. It was about the man who was convicted of murder and went and then
Narrow it down.
yeah, I can't remember the name of it. Oh shit balls.
No worries. Well,
Okay.
we'll update it in the edit, on our
Yeah.
Instagram post. By the way, this is the movie. This is
Yeah,
the movie.
it actually, the movie itself was great, but it was actually the environment of Highland. I think we've turned everything into a world of privilege, right? And sometimes we need to get back down to the roots of what it was like to go to a movie theater way back in, my time.
I'm a big fan of Highland, mostly because it's within walking distance of my place, but also because I just love the Highland. Just it,
Yeah, it's a neat spot, eh?
yeah, it gives you all of those kind. It's like you're not gonna get the Marvel movies or anything like that. You're gonna get those cool kind of indie films that aren't playing in other theaters for sure.
Absolutely.
Mhm. We need to have more theaters like that, in our city where it's just a small cinema opportunity for even like more local cinema to occur as well, right?
It's not even just that. It's also the fact that the Highland is reasonably priced.
Mm,
Like, how many people can afford to take their kids out to a movie at a regular movie theater,
that's
Very
such a good
true.
point. Yeah. You can
right?
also get a yearly like membership as well to the Highland.
Highland.
Oh,
So
gee,
that's even cheaper.
they need to pay us for this because we've just plugged them.
It's got to be because our mom gets that's what she got us for Christmas one year was the membership to the Highland. So we're big Highland people.
Oh, well, that's a great gift. That's a fantastic gift. And Christmas is coming, so
Yeah.
I'm sure I can arrange for Christmas gift cards and stuff from Lavish as well if people are interested.
Yes, that's what I was about to ask for next. That's perfect. And potentially a big Christmas show as well.
We have our Christmas show November the 25th. And then the month of December, we're not quite sure what we're gonna do. Just because there's so many, like, students are coming and going and everyone is so busy. I think it'll be more like themed nights for dancing and stuff. So like the getaway from your family for the night, dancing, dancing and nights and stuff like that. So we'll see how those work out for December.
Perfect. So everybody keep watch of the Instagram page and the Facebook page for all of the upcoming events at Lavish because there'll be some great ones coming up.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Kelly, for taking the time with us today. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It was great. So, hi, I'm Kelly Roy from Lavish London, and you're listening to London's Pretty Cool podcast.